So how do you believe in yourself as a trader if you don't have the results? No one else is going to believe in you. So it's very hard for you to believe in yourself if you don't have any results yet, okay? And other people are definitely not. That is for sure. And you and most people, when they get on this journey, you think that this belief comes after success. It's very easy to say, well, success comes to those people who are already successful, or you need money to make money, that type of mindset. But the truth is, and definitely in trading, is that belief has to precede success. It has to come before the success. And without this way of thinking, you're going to quit. You're going to quit when you have drawdowns. You're going to quit during losing streaks. You're going to find any consistency very, very hard to come by. Now, a lot of people think, well, you need to think like to be successful before. And that's exactly what I'm saying. And it's not a cliche when people actually say that. And I know that because, let me tell you, before my actual career, my previous career, which was football, most of you know, but this is how I learned this lesson back then. And I didn't really think about it until as I started to grow as a man and as a father, husband, etc., and definitely as a trader. Now, if I think back to that, and this is a lesson that has obviously given me in trading, when I was pushing to be a footballer as a youth, and many of you wanted to be whatever when you was in your youth, okay, you would have come across people saying, oh, well, only 1% of people can actually be professional athletes. You must think about if you don't make it, what if you get injured? And, they're caring, but they're putting a lot of negativity into your mindset. And that's because they've heard this story a million times from other people that they're going to be a top trader, or they're going to be a millionaire, or they're going to be, in my case, a professional footballer at the time. And when you're a kid, most people are just not going to listen to you. I had no accolades. I had no medals except for my little school trophies. There was no highlight reel. Nobody was betting on me except for me. And I can understand why that I'm older, because it's the way that we work as humans. But the truth is, I get it because I wasn't there yet at that time. But if I would have waited for any proof, then I would have never have stepped on the pitch. I would have never have taken that shot. I would have never have gone on that trial. And I wouldn't have had any belief whatsoever that I was going to be a professional athlete. So you must understand that you have to live like you are already there, and the traits that are needed. And that's what I want to speak about in this video for you as traders. Now, the trap that I see after working with so many people, even this week, 2 of the people that I work with, these are the types of traps, are I see people do this every single day with their mindset. And their mindset is saying things like, I've lost money. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, okay? My win rate is too low. This just doesn't sit right. How can I make money if my win rate is too low? And, the number one thing is, well, nobody supports this dream. Nobody's really supporting me. Nobody understands the journey that I'm actually on. So maybe I should stop. Now, one thing on that is you should make sure your environment is pushing you in whatever dream that you need to go. Obviously making you aware of, the slight downside, but not putting you off in a way. But that's for another video. Now, what you are learning when you have this type of mindset is helplessness. It's helplessness, okay? In sports, if you take enough hits and you start to convince yourself that you're always I'm never going to make it, this is not for me, I'm not strong enough. Like in trading, you start identifying losing trades. Oh, I'm a losing trader. This is not for me. And you're attaching yourself too much to the current mindset and the current beliefs. All you're doing is reaffirming your identity. That's what you are doing, your identity. And your identity is the single most powerful thing in shaping your outcome. Your identity. Now, people believe that you are born a certain way and this is just the way that I am, and my environment has molded me in my appearance and my childhood and the way I was brought up, etc., etc. I don't believe in that. I do not believe in that one bit. I believe that they are challenges that you must reshape. But I believe that everybody can do exactly what they want to do by reshaping their mind. And in trading, that's what you've got to do. One, you've got to stay in the game for long enough to actually see the results, which most people fail. So let's put this in something that you can picture an image in your head, all right? So imagine you're a sculptor. You know a sculpture, okay? This is what your job is. You might do out of wood, you might do whatever, but you create things out of just blocks, all right? And we're going to start with a marble. You've seen that one where the guy chisels, the advert where he's chiseling out his abs via the marble, like a stoic approach. Picture that right now, okay? And that block is your current self. It's just a block. You have the only beliefs that you have are habits, bad habits, self-doubts, your current results of where you are at, because you don't have the knowledge and you don't have the belief to think any differently. It doesn't look like much. It looks the same as it did 5 years ago, and it looks the same as it did probably 2 weeks ago, all right? But hidden inside that block, what we're going to chisel down is the trader that you need to be. Is the person, the man, the woman, the husband, the wife, the whatever, the father, whatever it may be, the uncle, the brother, the sister, whatever it may be, inside that block is the person that you need to be. All right? Now, here's the key. You don't add success. All right? And these are the things that you will start to figure out as you become more invested in your self-development. You don't add success. You chip away at everything that does not belong to create success. I want you to just pause and think about that. You don't add success. You chip away at what doesn't belong, okay? So every time you cut losses, instead of holding on to that trade, you're chipping away. Every time you size correctly, instead of going all in, Hail Mary trades, you're chipping away. Every time you journal, reflect your trades, your mental capacity, what you did right, what you did wrong, you are chipping away. And that goes into that 1% day kind of character basket that everybody speaks about on, the entry level of self-development. But that's exactly what it is. It's that 1% each day. All right. Now, slowly and surely, what's going to happen? You're going to shape something. Just like if you wanted abs, just like if you wanted build a business. You must think of everything in life, if you want, exactly the same as trading. Because then one day, others are going to look at you and they're going to start to say, of course you was meant to be that trader. You've been doing it for years. And now he's doing well, because that's what happened to me. That's what happened in football. But it took 18 years in football. It took 4 or 5 years to this day. And guess what? The most people that support me are strangers, never friends. And that's why my circle is so small, it's not even a circle no more. Because you need people who are going to understand and push you on your journey. Now, here's the paradox when it comes to that. People will only believe in you after they see the finished sculpture. People will only believe in you after they see the finished sculpture. That's the result. You need the intelligence to know that it's in the reverse. What do I mean by that? Belief plus consistent action creates visibility. So you're doing it in reverse. People think belief comes after. Belief plus consistent action. So you're doing it every day because you're believing that you're going to get there way before anybody else is going to get to believe there, okay? That's what's going to create the visibility. That's what's going to create the P&L. That's what's going to create the bank balance. That's what's going to get you over the prop firm line and get you payouts. That's what's going to work. So that's exactly what happened in football, all right? I didn't wait for recognition. One, I already had this massive belief that I was going to be able to do this, but I trained, come rain, come shine. In trading, I took the risk, massive risk. A massive risk I took to become a full-time trader. The amount of money that I had to waste and lose before I even took the risk was insane, okay? But you must behave and act like the trader when no one else is looking, because no one else is going to notice, all right? And that leads me on to this. It's your character that's going to get you where you need to get to. You need to create a character. So when you meet someone and say, man, you've changed, you're just different, take that as a compliment, because you are creating a new character. If old friends can't connect with you no more and you can't really connect with them, congratulations. You're more than likely on the right path to where you need to get to. Now, some people feel a little bit a little bit uneasy in that. I've done that with family members. If you have known my story of how close I were with my family, etc., you would probably be surprised that I don't have really anything to do with my family. Why? Because they are not on the right team. They are not right for the journey. Because their mindset, and it's no fault of it's no one's fault, okay? Their mindset is at a certain level, which cannot get you where you need to get to, all right? So what are the characters? And the very simple ones is obviously the first one is going to be discipline, okay? The market punishes impatient. The world punishes the impatient. It might give you something very, very quickly, but it'll soon take it away from you because that is the energy and that is the universal law. Now, the trader you want to become, you're not chasing setups. You wait. Just like a striker, you're hovering around, just like a leopard or a cheetah when it's going for its deer, it then pounces and you're waiting. You're waiting for the right moment for that trade to do what it needs to do because patience is everything. Absolutely everything. Number two, which we don't really have a lot in this society. Especially the younger generation. I have 4 children. I can see it firsthand, is resilience. Resilience. Losing trades should not shake you off. You should expect them. Getting knocked down in your life should not make you doubt things. You should expect it. Because there's way more losses in life than there is wins. I expected to get hurt. I expected to get released from Premier League teams. I expected to get tackled. I expected to get elbowed. I expected to lose trades day in, day out. That then has allowed me to remain calm under pressure. And then you're going to train yourselves to then think in probabilities. Everything that you do is in probabilities. It's a numbers game. You've heard people talk about a numbers game. Well, if I do this amount of this, I'll do that. If I take this amount of this calls, I'll get this amount of custom. If I take this amount of trades using this edge, it will work out for me in this. You must think in probabilities. And the way that I trade in the precision stack is we're trading from high levels of probability. The precision stack, the way that I trade, always trade from a higher term time frame perspective. But my entry is on the lower term time frame. So I'm taking the data from where big players want to trade from, and I want to trade from where they're trading from. But I want to get in early with a lower term time frame. That's a precision stack, and that's how I trade. And if you want any help with that, then again, there is a link below. You can click on that. You can get on a call with me, and if it's a good fit, boom, we'll help you out. We'll get you over that line. We'll get you funded, and we'll get you earning money in this market. Now, number 3 trait is going to have to detach confidence. A trader doesn't tie their self-wealth to one trade. I didn't tie my football career to one goal or one game, because there's another trade around the corner. There's another football match around the corner. There's another business deal around the corner. But what you need to know is a top trader, you know that your edge is going to play out over a period of time, not one. So you don't detach yourself to that one trade. You don't think I've cracked it, because you will have done that and you more than likely would have thought, the next trade you've been absolutely taken to the cleaners. You can't do that. So you must stay calm under pressure. You must stay calm under pressure. Now, number 4 trait is it's like a radical responsibility, okay, for want of a better word. And you can't blame the market. You have to take responsibility for so much in your life. And this is something that some of you are going to get triggered. Everything that we are going through, we must take responsibility for. That's going to trigger a few people. Well, why is that? Because things have happened to us that was probably no fault of our own, because other people done them to us. But if we don't take responsibility for that, which sounds really strange, we're probably not going to be able to be as resilient, as bulletproof as we need to. So that is something that you can take along, right? Just kind of don't blame nothing. Don't blame the broker. Don't blame the news. Don't blame the environment. Don't blame the family. Don't blame your bank balance. Don't blame your boss. Don't blame governments, all right? Because that's what people like to do, especially the world we live in now. They blame the government because they earn no money. It's absolutely so. They blame the government because they let someone else in the country, and then they blame them. And even though they wouldn't take those jobs, it's absolutely ridiculous. Take 100% ownership of your trading, of your life. Okay? It's your fault and you can change it. And if it's someone else's fault, then I'm sorry, but you're making excuses up. You're a loser. That's my honest opinion. Trait 5 is going to be the vision, right? You're going to operate from the future backwards. That's what you're going to do. You're going to operate from the future backwards. You see this in all self-help books. You talk about this in all manifestation. You don't ask for nothing, all right? Can I make money today, right? You don't ask that. You have the mindset where you go, what would 7-figure trader version of me do today in this market? That's the vision. What would a 7-figure trader like me do today in this market? That is thinking backwards. That is thinking that you already are where you need to get to, all right? So how do you start becoming this type of trader? Well, it's very, very simple, and I'm going to break it down into 3 little points, okay? And that is, when you're faced with a decision, pause and ask yourself this. What would the trader I want to be do here? What would the trader I want to be do here? Number 2 is, when you're tempted to break your rules, ask yourself, does this align with the trader's identity that I want to be, that I've sculptured out of that block? That's important. And then over time, these choices are going to compound, and they're going to make, and they're going to shape, and your identity hardens. Your identity hardens. It's not about faking it until you make it, as people say. It's about rehearsing the identity until it becomes second nature. Rehearse your identity until it becomes second nature. I have recreated myself in the last 10 years. My identity is nothing like it was that people that knew me 10 years ago. If I went to the city and someone saw me from 10 years ago, they would identify me of that person. I am the complete opposite to that person of 10 years ago. So I am living proof that you can recreate the way that you believe in yourself. All right. So here's the truth when it comes to trading. You don't achieve profits directly. You achieve them indirectly via having achieved your identity. All right. And from that, your profits are going to start coming in very, very slowly, very, very slowly, but they're going to compound. That's how you believe in yourself when no one else does. You don't wait for the world to tell you that you're great. You don't look for outside invalidation. You don't look at the P&L to validate you on this day. You don't look at your likes or your subscribers. You choose the identity of the trader you are becoming. And then you prove with relentless action to the world that that's what you're going to be. Because at the end of the day, you don't achieve goals, people. You achieve character.